everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to the Werewolf Amazon Challenge in The Sims 4. In the last chapter, the pack ventured to the royal den to see Prince Alfred, who had aged up to a toddler, and check out the state of his residence. Afterwards, all the werewolves were invited to the castle to attend 2 royal weddings. The first was between the Alpha and Lady Edith, the second was between the Alpha and Lady Catherine. Because they both married on the same day, Queen Julia decided that they would have equal status as her royal wives. Heartbreak and drama ensued as the werewolves argued, slapped, and blamed each other for their various affairs. And the drama is still ongoing, guys. So I am actually picking up after Edith has had her baby. Because the birth was impending and I just could not, I did not have time to set all of this up before she had the baby. But don't worry, we are going to go back in time after this to see the birth of her child. For now, though, we are starting off here. And I am going to show you guys the wedding portraits that we have. We have also changed the last names of our werewolves because I want married werewolves who are not royals, so excluding royals, to take on the an aspect of their partner's name, just to show that there was a change in the bloodline at some point because of a marriage alliance. So we now have Lady Edith Times and Lady Catherine Tales. So the queen is still a curse, but her wives have now taken on an aspect of her name, or a syllable of a name. So that's what we have going on there. Let's take a quick look at the wedding portraits. They look so good. They look so good. So we have one with Queen Julia and Lady Edith over here. They look lovely in their pink wedding attire, the traditional werewolf wedding garbs. I just love the way they look. And then we have these two over here. We have Lady Catherine and the Queen. I just love the contrast over here between their skin tones, and also the fact that we have silver eyes on one and is it dark brown eyes or just brown? Yeah, brown eyes, dark brown eyes. They're very glowy, so it's hard to tell the dark brown from the light brown, but it is there. It is there, guys. What's going on with the lights? Is it because it's daylight outside? Maybe. Suddenly things got very dark. But yes, I just love the contrast between the two of them. But I think you can kind of see over here, I don't know, it feels that way to me. In this wedding portrait, their bodies are kind of facing each other, they're receptive to each other, a bit more comfortable. In this one, it feels like they're just doing a job, or maybe, there's some warmth that's lacking there. It feels a bit more cold, especially with Catherine and the Queen. They seem a bit closed off to each other, and that is the reality of the situation, which we'll find out more about as we read the entries for these ladies. So let's get started with that. I think Lady Catherine should go first. You can see she's very, very angry right now. But let's take a look. Right, over here, let us pull out the journal and see what's going on, or what has been going on in her mind. So we have, come on, Catherine Tales, Chapter 6. Is it strange that when I stare at my wedding portrait, I feel nothing but contempt? When I speak to the Alpha, only insults leave my mouth. How did we become this way? This pain is of my own making. I knew it would be hard, yet I chose to compete and be sampled and watch her be shed. Even my own brother I've come to dislike. My relationship with Queen Julia has destroyed every other link I had. Was it worth it? And it's an angry memory. So yeah, after the wedding, Catherine even fell out with her brother Benjamin, who was, crying, I'm pretty sure, and having a hard time accepting that his sister was getting married to Queen Julia, especially because Catherine started approaching Queen Julia after everyone already knew that her brother and Julia were fated mates with each other. They were soulmates, but then she stepped in. So I don't know how much I should feel bad for Catherine. I mean, she feels like more of an upright person than Edith, but also she came in last, she came in later, and now she's going through all of this emotional turmoil because she can't deal with the polygamous nature of werewolf royalty. So yeah, that's what we have for Catherine. Now let's go ahead and read Julia's entry. Hold on a second. Let me pull this out. Okay, where is it? Is this? No, this is the Kennel Master's journal. No, I want Julia's journal. Okay, here we go. Right. Julia Curse, Chapter 6. Not one, but 2 royal weddings. Life has certainly escalated in the castle. Catherine doesn't seem to be taking her promotion well. Perhaps she expected to be my exclusive wife. I tried woohooing with her, but she was being so difficult. In other news, my boy has grown into a toddler. All signs point to Alfred being a werewolf, so I can let out an air of relief. The curse line continues with him. Confident memory. So, guys, you are kidding me. You are kidding me. What? This is wild. This is flippin' wild. Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to adjust the flippin' intro now. Really? For a second there I was like, I took care of her hunger. There's no way she's getting poisoned now, right? She's dying from laughter. She's flippin' dying from laughter. Okay. I mean, with Rose, we didn't get to see her death on camera because it happened while I was setting up. But, well, guys, you get front row seats to our second death in the pack. The pack is deadlier than I thought it was. I thought surely it can't be worse than the vampires, but no. They're finding creative ways of killing each other off. Okay, so after her flippin' wedding, she's dying, and after having her baby, oh my goodness. Okay, Wells. So, the queen, I'm just gonna not hit this on pause. Let's just watch her die while this happens. But basically, the queen has been treating the marriage as kind of like playdates, I feel. And she's very happy, or has been happy, with the way Edith has been reacting to that. And she's been a little bit disappointed in Catherine's behavior, because Catherine, well, she is acting touchy-feely. She doesn't want to woohoo with the queen following their wedding, and she's just been upset at the queen. Julia doesn't, at the Alpha, Julia doesn't understand what's going on with Catherine, why she's acting the way she's acting. She feels like it's a little bit unreasonable, but then again, it's a small concern. I feel like with the Alpha, she gets involved with everyone, and then when they get angry at her, her way of appeasing them is basically woohooing with them, and when they don't, they aren't receptive, then she gets a little bit confused at why it's so difficult to appease people's emotions. So she's going through that with Catherine over here. And, she kind of swept that under the rug, and she was like, well, in other news, my son has aged up into a toddler, and he is a werewolf. He is a full werewolf, so no mongrelness going on there. So she's very, very relieved and pleased, because it means he is a potential alpha for the future, and the curse line has been secured. So, that's really good. So we're going to put that back in her flippin' inventory. This feels so interesting, though, because Edith, remember guys, she actually poisoned Rose, and she ended up killing Rose because she thought Rose was a bit of a threat. And lo and behold, she gets so far in life, she gets so unimaginably happy with her life that she ends up dying from laughter. Oh my goodness. Too much joy can kill. So yeah, that's kind of ironic, no? Okay, well, we're gonna have to add her next to Rose, her grave next to Rose. So yeah, guys, we don't have additional roles that which I'll talk about that later when you guys go back in time and Edith has her baby. But we won't have new roles. It seems though the werewolves are gonna die off for us at good intervals so that we can introduce new blood. Seems great. Okay, well, now that she has died, let's go ahead and read her flippin' entry. So I'm gonna have to pull her journal out of the household inventory. Okay. So with Catherine, like the Kennel Master's journal, that's already passed on from Rose to her, and I suppose we have journal passing going on with the matchmaker. So let's go ahead and read her final thoughts before death took her. So where is it? I think it would be here. Yeah. Edith Times, Chapter 6. The royal wedding was wonderful. I have everything I want. My bond with the Alpha is stronger than ever before. There was some unexpected drama at the wedding. I wasn't expecting Prince Will to slap his sister. He must have had enough of holding it inside. Some part of me ached for him when he refused to watch me marry, but my thoughts are mostly for Queen Julia. She's so charming and playful, and that's a happy memory. She was so charming and playful that she killed Edith. She killed Edith. Edith was she was having too much fun. She was enjoying herself too much. Okay, well, I feel kind of terrible for Edith now because the Queen's going to keep this journal until we have the new matchmaker, and then she's going to give that to the new matchmaker. But Edith was having just too much fun, guys. Way too much fun. And now they're upset. Look at Catherine. And it's just, she's terrified. She is terrified of the Grim Reaper and this whole situation. I mean, she didn't like Edith. Edith was a competition. Edith was always making her jealous. But I'm pretty sure her relationship got so bad with Queen Julia. It's crazy now, isn't it? Because she was losing emotionally, but now, you know, and when she and Edith both married Julia, they had equal status as royal wives. The Queen wasn't going to number them. But now that Edith has died, I mean, she's still going to be referred to as a royal wife, but she is now the only female that is going to have a higher status than anyone else. And I feel terrible, guys, for Will, because he was actually very sad at the wedding, and now he, he has his kid, but now his mate has died. At least with Rose didn't have a fated mate that she had met, so nobody was having any sort of heartache in that regard. But Will, you know, he met his fated mate, he got to know her, and he lost her in both senses, to his sister and, you know, to death altogether. So okay, I need to go sort this out. Maybe I'll just go do it now. Are you going to... Hold on a second. Let's set up her grave next to Rose's. So I'm gonna headline effects on, just so I can see like what I wrote for the other one, and I can do this as well. And then we'll do baby move objects on. Nice. So let me set this up right next to Rose, the person she did not like. So we're just gonna pop this here. There we go, looking super cute, So for her we wrote first Kennel Master under Queen Julia. So this is gonna be first matchmaker. So first matchmaker under Queen Julia. Nice. So we have that set up. Very unexpected. And now I feel like all the doors should open up so everyone can come mourn. Actually, I am going to create the brand new matchmaker, and then we'll get everyone, the 3 members, we'll get them in the graveyard, the royal graveyard, and they can all pay their respects to Lady Edith, and, you know, remember Rose if they want to as well. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, it is Thursday afternoon, and Edith is ready to have her very first litter. I'm super excited to see if she's going to continue her bloodline. Now remember, guys, we are wanting the ladies to at least have 1 boy each. That would be ideal, because then we know for sure their line is going to be continued, and then if they want to have a bazillion girls, that is completely fine by us. I definitely have had some ideas brewing in my mind about, you know, how the werewolves are going to fight for status, like the younger werewolves, and I even had thoughts going around my head last night, and I think I might have changed a little bit of how like the noble succession is going to work, but I'll talk about it in a second once Edith has had this baby that she has been holding on to for a while. So, is that it? Are we gonna have any of the males joining us? So, there are definitely some things that I want to talk about, but because we are having her give birth now, and I'm gonna be recording the introduction like after she has this baby, I'm not going to talk about it too much, although I suppose we can, because we are going back in time, or at least you guys are going back in time to check this out, so really I shouldn't be all that worried about it. But she does not get along with her brother anymore, as you guys will already know at this point. Actually, is it her brother? Wait, no, that is not her brother. It's Catherine. Catherine doesn't like Benjamin. She's like, we mentioned, destroyed all her relationships at this point. So yeah, she has not been too happy with the wedding, but Edith has been. Poor Will, he is just so sad. So sad. And I mean, this is his baby over here, but he is really, really sad at the turn of events with Edith. I'm pretty sure he was aware the choices she was going to make regarding her relationship with the Queen, but still, it does hurt. I mean, the one positive is, if this child ends up being a boy, then he'll be able to raise the baby with him, and at least he'll have some sort of father-son relationship going on. But if it's a girl, then she's going to be going over to the Royal Guard, where, she'll be raised and trained by the mercenary members of the Royal Guard. So, who knows how that's going to go down. Is the Queen going off at Benjamin? Queen Julia? Queen Julia. Okay, she might be going off at Benjamin. Well, since we have the father of the child with us, I'm not going to waste any time. We're just going to get Edith to have this baby. So, let's see what it is. I'm super excited. I'm super duper excited. Okay, Queenie. Or I should say Alpha. Alpha was freaking out because, her favorite wife at this point. It's a girl. It's a flippin' girl. Okay. And the last names have been updated, so I definitely am going to make it so that when werewolves get married, they take on an aspect of their partner's name, kind of like we were doing with the vampires, the vampire Amazons. And of course, the royals are exempt from this, so the Queen, her last name is still cursed, that is not changing, but her wives now have a syllable of her name in their names, so their names sound a bit different now. So with Edith, she's Edith Times, and with Catherine, she is Catherine Tales. So that is the change they have gotten for their name. Let's go ahead and name this baby girl, I suppose. It's a noble, so it's going to be Miss. So this is going to be Miss Lillian Times. So, Miss Lillian Times. Welcome to the family. You know what I'm also going to be excited for? When, the first time we have multiples. I think that's going to be so exciting. But just the one child. Aww. So I think her skin tone is a lot closer to her mother, and it seems as though this little girl, she's not carrying on her bloodline, unfortunately. But guys, one thing for the girls, it means they are potential shepherds for the next generation. So Lillian is a potential shepherd for the next generation, which is good. So there we go, we have Miss Lillian Times that has joined the family. She's going to have her mother's light brown eyes and her mother's reddish brown hair, so that'll be exciting when she gets of age. Okay, well, Edith, I'm sure she's happy. Maybe not as happy. I feel like Edith is very ambitious, so she might not be over too excited that her first baby was a girl, because I think all the ladies would actually want to secure their bloodlines before they have any daughters or anything like that. And I kind of want to take the chance, guys, also to talk a little bit about a question you guys have been asking about roles, like whether I'm going to introduce any new roles into the pack, and the answer to that is no. The reason for it is the mortality of the werewolves. So our werewolves, they have a set time limit before they die, And it's tied into breeding as well, because if you've watched Vampire Amazon, you know that I like to do breeding in a certain way and a certain order. So I like the queen, or in this case the alpha, to have every second breeding, just so they have the most chance to secure their bloodline. And when we're in a situation where there are a lot of noble bloodlines to cover as well, like on top of the queen having every second breeding, and they live for an indefinite number of time, then you can actually get around to all the ladies. But if your werewolves are going to get old and they're going to die at some point, and you have a time crunch, then the larger your pack is, or the more rolls you have, the less likely it is I'll be able to get to all the ladies to breed in time before the queen dies. So I chose to only focus on 3 bloodlines that we track, so that it is, easier for us to cover all the ladies and give them a good chance of continuing their bloodlines. I might change this in the future, and really this is an experiment for the first generation, again, because I don't know how much time I'll have to play with the werewolves within one lifespan. So by the time we finish the first generation, I should get a better idea of, how many rolls I should be able to have, or if I can add more without feeling too pressured for time. I'll figure all of that out after the first generation. But just to keep things simple and so I don't get overwhelmed, I chose to start off with just the 3 bloodlines. But okay, the baby needs to be moved out to the Royal Guard, and then we can jump back in and check out some other things. But first, I actually have to, for you guys, go back in time, and I have to go forward in time and record the introduction, so I'll see you guys in a bit. It is Friday morning, and a new face has joined us in Lady Edith's place. Lady Ada Blade is the new matchmaker. Her traits are music lover, unflirty, and lactose intolerant. Lady Ada comes from a renowned military family where she was raised with the utmost physical training. However, her father's ambitions to get her into court has forced her into a role she has no confidence for. There was never any time for romance in her youth, and she doesn't understand it either. Perhaps, to her detriment, she has no tolerance for anyone who drags their weight either. At least she has an appreciation for music passed down from her mother. Maybe it'll be enough to fit into the royal pack. Okay, so let's take a look at Ada. We already know that we have, hold on a second, guys. We know that we have the gravestone of Edith already added to our royal graveyard. But Ada, come here, honey. Come here. Let's take a look at her. She is quite the interesting sim. Now, with her dress, it is like too close in color to what Edith is wearing. I think Edith had a white dress, but I mean, it's so similar that it's hard to notice the difference unless the two dresses are side by side. But she has a bit, I think, of a bluish, either she has a greenish gradient on top or she has a bluish gradient at the bottom. Something like that. It is slightly different. But again, I feel like it kind of fits this whole idea that she, by her family, has been pushed into Edith's place as the matchmaker, and she doesn't really know what she's doing here, and she doesn't really have the confidence to, match make. She's got no experience, she's got no understanding of that concept in terms of romance. So she was always raised as a practical child. So this is definitely going to be hard for her, but I feel like it kind of makes sense with her character to be trying to figure out something and, almost just trying to emulate Edith, or what she thinks Edith was doing here. Which is very different to someone like Catherine, for example. So anyways, she has a really pale skin, dark green eyes, and dark brown hair. I actually really like the way she looks. I feel like, unlike the Alpha and Catherine, she has a bit more of a stronger, stern face. or like a bit more of a like chiseled, rough-looking face, and I actually really like that again because it's different, and we're gonna have some genetic variation, but very cool, very cool, and not as easygoing as maybe. I suppose Edith wasn't easygoing, but Edith was prickly. She could be easygoing when she wanted to be with the right people, but she was, you know, prickly. Ada, on the other hand, she is a certain way because she's grown up disciplined, and she believes there's a way to live life, and it is not frolicking in the fields or anything like that, right? It is being strong and knowing how to fight and hold your own against your enemies, and this is not a battlefield. It's court politics, so she is definitely a little bit confused. Hopefully, though, she'll be able to gel really well with the people here. I'm hopeful because we don't have any, you know, saboteur sims anymore. But yeah, it's gonna be exciting, I feel like, to see what she's gonna get up to. Already, I think, I don't know, this would be the queen's fault. But she's unflirty, so even if the queen's romantic towards her, I don't know if she'd reciprocate. And then on top of that, she herself might not initiate the romance. But I say that, guys, when she has this whim to flirt with Prince Will. Now, we know that Prince Will, of course, was soulmates with Edith, the werewolf who died. So I don't know if he's going to be able to move on or if he's going to be receptive. I mean, whatever it is, it's not going to be the same for him ever again, the way it was with Edith, even though she, you know, kept breaking his heart over and over again. But yeah, she definitely wants to get to know him. I think maybe the idea of a sad prince who is not necessarily part of the royal guard, but maybe she has an appreciation for his role because out of all the roles that we have here, maybe she feels like his is the most similar, and maybe she'll be able to learn something from him. And then seeing him in a vulnerable spot probably reminds her of her own vulnerability in the pack right now. You know, she is hoping that nobody notices she's really out of her depth because her family's kind of counting on her to make a place over here. But yeah, I'm excited. Now, Catherine, I did see her slap the queen. I don't know what that was about. When Edith is dead, you are the only spouse now. She wants to cloud gaze with Julia Curse. Oh, and now she wants to woohoo with her. Well, before she was being really difficult when the queen wanted to. It's like she had no space. Look, the queen wants to as well, but I don't know. Catherine was being really upset and annoyed. And some of you are saying that, oh look, Twilight! Twilight's wanting to see the new member of the family. Twilight, you are too adorable. Too adorable, Twilight. She's really been walking all over the place, trying to befriend or trying to get attention from Ada. So that's kind of nice to see. Oh, you're adorable. You are adorable. So, I'm thinking, guys, Will is not here. He would have heard the news, but he's not here with us, unfortunately. What about, maybe we'll cloud gaze with the alpha? Let's try and cloud gaze. Although, you did just slap her, so I don't know what's going on there. I feel like, guys, their marriage might end up not in a marriage. Like, I feel as though they may break up very soon at some point. I could especially see that if, for example, Catherine finds her own soulmate, her own fated mate. That might change things for her because she's gonna get like love and affection reciprocated from someone, and not in the way that it was done with the queen, because this whole monogamous thing just ain't working for her, although she's not competing with anyone for Queen Julia's attention anymore. Now, on that note, guys, I also went ahead and gave all the werewolves in our cast, like every single werewolf, the polyamorous trait. And I know in the beginning I was saying that I would only give it to certain sims who are in... What's happening? Twilight. Twilight. I was so caught off guard. Twilight just took a dump on Queen Julia's face. Twilight. Twilight. What you doing, Twilight? Okay, I think Twilight is upset for Catherine, guys. Twilight is unimpressed with the way that Queen Julia has been, dipping her fingers in every honeypot, and she has decided to show her distaste by taking a very solid dump on the Queen's face. Well, that was very unexpected. One moment she's staring happily at the clouds. Next moment she's got horse crap on her face. Well, that was interesting. That's for sure. We get your point, Twilight. Thank you for sharing your opinion. It was very much valued. She seems to like Ada though. Twilight seems to be fond of Ada, which is nice. But yeah, as I was saying, I know that before I was going to assign it to certain Sims, but then at the wedding, I kind of realized the jealousy thing was getting out of control and it would be way too chaotic, and plus it would make like jealous moments less impactful if it was happening like every 5 seconds. So I just went ahead and I gave everyone the polyamorous trait, and I've decided that from now on, every werewolf I add to the cast, they're going to have that trait unless they are jealous like Catherine. So Catherine does not have the polyamorous trait, which means she's always going to be jealous in a polygamous situation. The others though, you guys know the way I play. I tend to draw meanings from a lot of the interactions they do, and a lot of personality things, or like interactions they have basically. I try and couple that with their personalities to see what's going on and why they would have done something, rather than saying that's not in their character. So when things like that happen, for example, if a Sim just decides to be mean or mischievous out of no context, that'll make me think why they're acting that way, rather than say, well, they're not mean or they're not evil, they shouldn't be doing that. Instead of that, I prefer to try and figure out the reason behind them doing something like that. And I feel like we could potentially use, them being secretly jealous or something like that as a way to justify those actions. And for that reason, I don't feel the need to have the jealousy on for every single Sim. So I kind of will find it more meaningful if everyone understands that, the royal pack has something like polygamy. But then when they do have those mean outbursts, we could reason it by saying, oh, maybe they just couldn't handle keeping it to themselves anymore, or maybe they just stopped caring anymore and they really had to express their feelings, or maybe they feel really strongly about something. So there we go. Okay, Queen is looking quite miserable, for obvious reasons. A horse just took a dump on her, but she definitely wants to woohoo with Catherine, and then Ada wants to flirt with Prince Will, but then also we have a match that we need to be doing. We need to move on to the next match as soon as possible. So this is gonna be interesting, because Ada, you have to organize a match now, and the person that we are going to be having a match for will be Queen Julia Curse. So like I mentioned beforehand, I do like giving my alphas, my queens, my monarchs, like every second chance to breed. Like every other breeding, it's them, so that they have the most chance to continue their bloodline, or have a secure bloodline by having multiple eligible offspring. So for that reason, we are going to be breeding the queen next. So Ada needs to go set that up and figure out who is going to be the match suitors, or who are going to be the match suitors for Queen Julia Curse's second breeding, or her second litter. It is Friday afternoon and everyone is sitting around ready for the third match? Yes, the third match to take place, and the second match that is happening for breeding rights over the alpha. So the lineup has been decided by our newest matchmaker, who has literally just come in today. And we all know she's a little bit unsure, or actually very unsure, about how the heck this whole thing goes down. So, she's trying to smile through it, and I feel like she's going through all of these war strategies, battle strategies in her mind about how to take care of yourself in dangerous territory, or, when you're surrounded by enemies, because she, doesn't know these people. Yes, the werewolves, they exist, in service and in thanks to the Alpha and the Alpha's bloodline, but still, the concept of the Alpha is intimidating. So she's trying her best, not to be executed over here. She doesn't know the go of this castle just yet, so she's trying to figure everyone out. And so she's decided, and plus, for her first match, the Alpha being the one it's for is a huge responsibility. Maybe she would feel a little bit easier if it was for Catherine, but it's not. Or, for herself, but it's not. So she's gone ahead and she's looked through records of the past matches that have taken place, and she realized that Lord Jesse, who is actually Edith's brother, he took part in the previous match for the Alpha and he lost, but because he took part in the previous match for the Alpha, and he was deemed worthy enough for that, Lady Ada is thinking, okay, so maybe I should keep him. And then Lord Roy was a recent match suitor, so she's thinking, okay, both of them were deemed worthy to participate, so maybe I should just go off where Edith left and, use the resources that she had, or kind of double up on some of the decisions that she made, while Ada's trying to figure her own self out. So these two, they are going to fight for the right to mate with the Alpha. Now, Jesse has attained transformation mastery, but Roy has not, which means we are going to have to force a transition, and unfortunately, these two are going to be enemies by the end of it. But hey, that is the way things work. If Roy had attained transformation mastery on his first match, just like Jesse did on his first match, then this would have been like an amicable fight, They would have left on good terms, but no. He's too young and inexperienced to see it as wisely as Jesse is. But I'm excited because these two have interesting genes between the two of them. So with Jesse, after the genetic change-up that I did, remember guys, the genetic eyes that I had to change? Yeah. He's got dark blue eyes, which look really nice on him, and white hair. And then we have light green eyes on Roy and auburn-colored hair. It's kind of like a orangish brown, like a gingerish brown. I should probably stick with auburn, yeah. And then we have, obviously, the dark brown eyes on the queen with the gray hair. So I think we'll have some interesting offspring. I honestly feel like whoever she pairs with, it's going to make a really good match. So let's not waste any more time and get to it. So let us... Oh, I think it was in Werewolf Sheets. Hold on a second, guys. Let's trigger the transitions. Oh no! Ah, jeez, of course. Ada, now's not the time. I did this before. So I was on the wrong sim. You have to be on the sim that you are trying to do the Max Fury on. I did this before where I made someone, like one of the ladies, transform because I thought I was on them, but I wasn't. Okay, my bad. I need to get these guys to transition. And I have to get you to transition. My goodness. Okay, transform guys. Ada, I hope you're able to watch the match decently. She might not. But hey, we get to see her werewolf form. Even you guys will already have seen it in the intro, but we get to see her werewolf form. So there we go. She's got the same patterning as Queen Julia, actually, but with different coloring. Okay, Julia's not too happy. She's like standing all the way there. Ah, Julia. Okay, these two, they need to go and battle it out. Now, both of them have been losers in their own matches. They're pretty much leftovers. So I don't know how the Queen's gonna feel about Ada's decision to, you know, have these two be the ones fighting for honor. I mean, the queen might not care that much. I don't feel like she's as pedantic as a royal could be. But yeah, both of them are kind of like leftovers, you know? So let's go ahead and get Jesse time, since he is the first match suitor, to brawl with Lord Roy Oracle, and we shall see who among the two of them will emerge as a victor. Okay, guys. I'm also gonna hold on, oh my goodness. Where the flip did, hold on a second, where did Ada go? Ada, where you at? Okay, guys, Ada has run off. I don't know where Ada is. Oh, she's all the way here. She's all the way here. Ada, honey, I need you to come. Okay, she's not in there. Go here ferociously. You're gonna have to witness the match, though. This is kind of embarrassing because, you know, she transformed out of probably anxiety during her first match, and she ran off, leaving these two contestants with the alpha and the kennel master. Very, very embarrassing, but hey, what are you gonna do? I guess the alpha's the one who has to witness this. Doesn't matter for anyone else. Okay, guys, here we go. Now, both of them, they have only fought, I think, in one match each. So, this is gonna be especially embarrassing for whoever does lose, because it means they have a losing streak. So, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Oh! It's Lord Roy Oracle. It's the new blood. Oh, I feel so embarrassed for Lady Edith. Yeah. Her brother never really lived up to her expectations in life or in death. I mean, he has a losing streak now. He has a losing streak. I feel kind of bad for him. They despise each other now, unfortunately. But it does mean that Lord Roy Oracle has won himself some time with the Alpha. So we are going to get them moved away to her quarters, and then we'll catch up with you guys there and then. Okay, it is Saturday morning, and I am glad these two are feeling a lot better than they were the night before, because I did not realize it was a full moon. So yes, they did start off on a, good foot with each other, and they were getting all romantic and such, but then they started glowing, and I was confused. I was thinking to myself, wait, hold on a second, why would they be glowing? And why would the Alpha be enraged? And then I looked at her moodlet, and she was feeling the full moon fury, and then I realized, oh, it was the full moon. So they transformed, and they were locked in here the entire night, so you can kind of see all the stuff they destroyed. I mean, look at the state of her bed, like the expensive seats over here, they're all covered in scratches. I'm pretty sure the two of them together broke the shower, and they destroyed the sink. The butler is gonna have a lot to clean up once the doors to the Queen's chambers finally does open up. I don't know what's going on with Jesse. Jesse has run off somewhere. He was so rampant that he literally just ran off somewhere, so nobody knows where the heck he is. Okay, is he back? Okay, he just came back. I don't know, he must have found himself in the forest or something. And what is this? Okay, so Ada... Yes, everyone's going through an experience. Was that the first time Ada and Roy have gone through the full moon? It must have been, because we've been playing for a bit, and the others, I think, must have gone through the experience at least once before, but it was the first for them too. Okay, that's fine, but let's finally be able to focus on the two of them. Thank you very much. Can we... No, don't be too sad. Okay, I'm gonna have to make her feel a little bit... Oh geez, this is not going well. I'm gonna have to put her into a bit of a flirty mood, guys, because this is something that needs to happen. It must occur. It is part of a ritual that they do. It is beyond emotions that these characters might have. So, okay, she's being receptive now, which is good, Now let's get them to go ahead and do their business. Excellent. So these two, I mean, I like looking at their sleepwear to see if it's coordinated. I don't know. In some part of my brain, it feels like there's a message there as to the connection they may or may not have. And it seems as though they don't really have, or like a compatibility, I suppose. Because, you know, sleepwear is intimate, so it's interesting to see whether or not they have compatibility with each other. But obviously not the same that she has with Benjamin, who is very upset at her, and Catherine. Isn't that crazy? Like, the two people who felt like, or the two people who feel the most conflicted about her are the ones that she's left with. I suppose Roy is now the new boy toy, so I don't know what's gonna happen with that. She might just end up having too much fun with Roy, because Roy is probably going to be a lot easier than the others at this whole polygamous business. I mean, he got involved with the alpha because of one of the matches, and also he got involved with her after seeing the drama go down and already having established how things work in the pack. Okay, I need to go ahead and put in the house party so that we know when she's having a child. So 1, 2, 3, Tuesday 9 a.m. So we'll do a Tuesday 9 a.m. event, and that's when she should be going into labor. So the host will be Julia, Catherine, and Ada, and the guests, of course, will be Lord Roy Oracle. We'll invite Prince Will, Prince Alfred, because this is going to be his half sibling. Jesse Time, why not? Benjamin Tail, why not? We'll invite everyone we can. Excellent. And it's going to be at, yes, the Royal Family Castle, or, you know, at the royal grounds, and it's going to be at 9 a.m. Excellent. So we have that to look forward to. And just looking at the calendar, guys, looking at the calendar, unlike the whole vampire situation, we actually have to pay attention to this, because it's going to tell us how much time we have left in the series and how much time we have left with our werewolves. So thankfully, it seems as though we do have quite a bit of time left before, you know, Catherine and the alpha, Queen Julia, ages up into an adult. And then because Ada joined us later, she obviously is going to age up into an adult a week after that. So I think that's actually really good for us to have new blood like this from time to time. Even though deaths are unfortunate, it is in the long run good, because we get more time to breed up more puppies, more wolf pups. So there we go, we have that. And then of course we need to pay attention after they have their birthdays, because the one after that, the transition from adult to elder, is going to be the real time crunch. Because as soon as the queen, or as soon as, you know, the alpha turns into an elder, we have to have the succession take place across the entire pack. And as soon as we have so we'll have the royal battles for the position of crown prince. Then once we have a crown prince out of all the princes, then the crown prince is going to host the battles that are going to happen across the other offspring for the other two roles, so Kennel Master and Matchmaker. And then once all of that is sorted, then the queen is gonna succumb to the poison in her blood, and she's gonna die like immediately. So that's gonna be really important for us. And I even have like a system I've been thinking of about the youngsters. So beforehand I did say I was gonna say open up the doors, but I think she's told him I need to get him and Jesse moved back out to the Royal Guard and open up the doors, and then maybe I'll go a bit more in depth about the status, the pack status amongst the sons, because I've been thinking and I've got something that might make this whole dynamic or this whole scenario a bit more exciting. Lady Ada is going out for her first ride with the beautiful Twilight, which she has managed to become friends with autonomously. And while she does that, we can go ahead and have a little bit of a discussion about those plans that I was having for the sons. So guys, I got thinking about what I said regarding the royals getting first preference, like oldest to youngest, to fight for the noble roles, and then the noble children, so the noble sons, getting a chance to fight from oldest to youngest for the noble roles after all the royals. And then I thought to myself, I mean, yes, we could do that, but also I really like this whole idea of the werewolves emphasizing strength, and when it comes to certain things, your birth status, that doesn't necessarily dictate your position in the pack, but it can become a form of honor or even embarrassment depending on how strong you yourself are and whether you live up to your lineage. So this whole concept of not, continuing the lineage, more about living up to the lineage. So I'm thinking, look at her. I feel like it's really fitting that she actually came to the royal den where Prince Alfred is, because what we are talking about is definitely going to be impacting him. But what I'm thinking is that from the moment our second son, not the first one, so after Alfred has already moved in, from the moment our second son, whether he is a royal or a noble of the pack, moves into the castle, we are going to basically have Alfred and the second son, so the first and second son of the pack, they're going to have an archery contest with each other. Because I do have an archery mod, which is really, really cool. If you guys have seen my goth episode of the Elven Pleasant View version 2, you guys will know what I'm talking about. I basically go through the archery mod in that video. If you just go to my channel page, if you haven't seen it before, it should be up there somewhere. But the archery mod is really, really cool. And I don't think I'll leave a link in this video, but maybe in a video where I'm actually using the archery mod, otherwise it might get a little bit confusing. I suppose I could leave a link in this video. You know what? Heck it. I'll do it so you guys can check it out on your own. If you don't want to go ahead and see the video, you can just check out the actual mod and download it in your game. But I'm thinking I'll get the first and second son to do an archery contest, and basically that's going to determine who has a higher status in the pack, because the youngsters have a different social structure to the adult wolves. So it doesn't matter if Alfred is the oldest prince, if he doesn't win that archery contest against his second, the second boy that comes into the family, then he is going to have a lower position in the pack. And basically every new son that joins the castle has to challenge up the social ladder until they figure out their place in the pack. So the newest son who comes in, he's going to challenge the son with the lowest social ranking to the archery contest, and if he loses, then he becomes the new person who has the lowest rank. He becomes the lowest ranking member. If he wins against that other son, then his rank goes up a bit higher, and he can challenge the son that's a rank above that, and basically they keep doing it until they lose a match, and then we figure out, okay, that's when our status list gets updated for the youngsters. And this is going to be important because I am thinking that it's going to determine the way they interact with each other in the castle grounds, and maybe the reasoning behind some of the interactions and the way their personalities develop. That's going to impact it. And then I'm pretty sure there is a sword fighting mod that I haven't downloaded yet, but one of you lovelies did share it with me in the Discord. So I have been looking at that, but haven't gotten around to actually putting it in my game. I'm thinking I'll put that in my game as well. And then when the alpha becomes an elder and we actually have the proper succession fights that we start to do, then I'm thinking all of the sons, the archery is kind of the beginning stage. But when we start having the succession stuff, I don't know if kids can do the sword fighting. We'll see how it goes for age. hopefully all the kids, like no one's a kid, hopefully they're teenagers and above by that point, but we'll essentially get all the sons, you know, both the royals and the nobles, to go ahead and do the same thing they did with archery but with sword fighting, and that's going to give us a brand new status list, or you know, competition. That's going to give us like the competition list. So then based on that list, we are going to get the royal sons to fight for the position of alpha, and then once we have a crown prince, then we're going to use that same list, and this time not discriminating against nobles or royals. We're going to use that list in exactly the order it is to challenge for the matchmaker and kettle master roles. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. If it doesn't, please let me know. Look at how responsible Ada is. Look at how responsible. She literally went on a ride with Twilight out of the castle grounds, around Chestnut Ridge, past the royal den, and then she brought Twilight right back inside and left her in like the pasture here. How nice is that? How nice is that? That is responsible, let me tell you. Because Catherine took Twilight out on a ride at one point, and she left Twilight like all the way out here, and Twilight was getting really bad needs, like she was tired and hungry and lonely and thirsty and all of that. And she was so far from home, she was a little bit confused at this new place she was at, and Catherine ran back home without the horse. So I find it very, very responsible that Ada has put Twilight exactly where she found Twilight. Like, good on you, good on you. But yeah, guys, if you understood what I said, then let me know your thoughts on that. But if you didn't, then I will try and clarify in the comments below. I know sometimes I can be a bit, you know, long-winded with the way I explain things, mainly because it's in my head and I'm like still trying to work pieces of it out, and I probably haven't, you know, spoken to myself about it because I'm waiting till I speak to you guys. So the thought hasn't formed entirely, and I'm trying to navigate my brain while also expressing what I'm saying. And oh, look at that, I was rhyming. Huh, look at that. I feel kind of proud of myself. But okay, guys, I am thinking we should probably invite over Will. Actually, Will, where you at? Okay, Will. She wants to flirt with Will. Now, this is going to be a futile flirt. She's not good at this in any way, shape, or form. But also, I don't think Will is going to reciprocate it in any way, shape, or form. I might be wrong, but I don't think he will. Despite this, I think this is probably Ada's way of connecting with someone and just, you know, trying to... She's experimenting, let's just say. This whole thing is new to her. This whole place is new to her. The way of living is different from the military lifestyle she's used to. And oh, you just ran past him. You know, I like the idea that she talked herself up, that, you know, okay, I'm gonna go tell Will, I'm gonna go say it, and now she's practicing. I love this. She's like, I'm gonna go say it, and then as soon as she was running to him, and then she got so, like, she chickened out, basically. She ran past him. She chickened out, she ran past him, and then she practiced it, and then Will noticed that she ran past, and it looked like she was gonna say something to him, so he turned around. He was like, hey, Ada, hold on a second, what were you gonna say? Okay, she flirted with him, and he... Oh, and she's following it up with a crudely compliment appearance. It's kind of cute. You know what? I think he feels flattered. Look at that. He took it well. I think Will probably appreciates that because he's so used to being rejected by Edith, even though they were fated mates. He's kind of... I feel like talked himself down quite a bit, even though, you know, he's a flippin' prince. So the fact that Ada's coming in now and she's someone who doesn't even, she's unflirty, but she's making the effort to flirt with him is probably very flattering. And he can probably see it in a friendly light. And look at that, she's waving him goodbye. That was a really wholesome interaction. I really liked that. Meanwhile, we have the chaos of Catherine and Julia, because the both of them want to actually go ahead, and I don't know if they'll be able to. I'm going to try and get both of them to relax here. They both want to woohoo, but we know that the Queen has attempted to do this with Catherine before, but it just hasn't worked out. And Catherine has been really difficult and unreceptive. Even though they both have the whim for it, their relationship isn't entirely in the red. So I don't see them actually being able to go through with this interaction. I will attempt it though. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. I mean, they can try, but this doesn't feel like something that I don't see it. I don't see them. You know what? Maybe I can interpret this as them wishing it was different between them. I think the two of them, are probably thinking about the way their relationship could have been instead of the way it has turned out. And it feels bittersweet that in their marriage, it's just the both of them left, and their relationship has been destroyed so much that it's almost not worth having anymore. So I really don't see how they're going to be able to recover from this. I mean, if nobody interrupts them, they might be able to. This is definitely more progress we've been making right over here than we were beforehand. Maybe it's because Catherine is initiating all of this. Okay, guys, they might actually be able to fix their relationship here. They might be able to fix their relationship. The thing that's been broken for so long, and it took Edith's death for them to backtrack in any way, shape, or form. Okay, come on, you can do it. You guys can do it. You're having like an amorous exchange. Come on, do you need to stand up? Get a move on, you two. Get a move on. I suppose it makes sense that, like, Catherine was the one who needed to approach the Queen because she's the one that was struggling the most. I still like the idea, though, that they were thinking about how it could have been and not the way that it turned out. And maybe she was hoping that she could do something to change the way life had been, or the way their life is. Because it's just the two of them now. It's just the two of them. And she's not really competing with anyone. Her status is, pretty clear in the pack. She's got the second highest status in the pack, Catherine does. The second highest. No, don't go. Do not go. Let's throw in another apology. Don't go. Let's try and be enticing. They're actually really close to doing something over here. Can we? No, don't sleep. I'm just clicking all the wrong buttons. No, don't do that. Let's offer her a rose. Come on, Catherine. I see that red bar ever so slowly going down. I don't know what seduce does, but why not? I believe in you, Catherine. I believe in you. Okay, let's go ahead and do a pose. They might be onto something, guys. Look at that. We managed to wipe out that red bar completely. Express fondness. Yes, please. Let's go back to some of this intimacy. Okay, we're in suggestive, which is good. Okay, this is the most time they have spent together since forever. They haven't spent this much time with each other in a long time. Mainly because Catherine has just been cheesed off at the Queen for so long. No. Where you going? No, Queenie. No. Alpha, come back. Come back, please. I really want to just get this whim done before we go, because it's been staring at me for a while now, and I'm kind of feeling guilty that I'm not getting a move on. Catherine, you were so close. You have kind of fixed. Now the only broken relationship you have is with your brother. I mean, if you have the desire to fix that at some point, it would really be good. I don't think you need to be living such a depressing life anymore. So come on. Come on. Let's at least try and clear this out. You need to patch up with the queen. I will not consider them fully patched up until we have finished this wand that has been hovering there for the longest time. I think since the last chapter. I think it's been there since the beginning of the last chapter. It could be this chapter. It might actually be this chapter, actually. I think it's been there since I was setting up. So, yeah, but okay, things are steamy. Guys. Things are steamy. What are you doing? What are you doing? Is this? Oh, come on. Come on. Don't tell me that this is undoable because it's scratched up. That's ridiculous. Okay, I don't know why they are so... I'm gonna get them to come back up here. Seriously, guys. Go back upstairs. Go back upstairs. They have like a steamy thing going on. Why are they being so difficult? Why are you being so difficult? Come on. Chop. Let's go. Please work. Please work. Come on, guys. You can do it. You don't even have the... Okay, please, no. Please be able to, like... Don't make me flip and go out again. Okay, we have the interaction. Hopefully they just use the chambers and don't, like, run around the grounds. The interaction is there. This is it. We are fixing it. Once and for all, we are fixing it. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Okay, there we go. You can tell by their sleepwear they do not have the compatibility whatsoever. But who cares at this point? Who flippin' cares? We are completing this whim that has been there for, I personally feel, like the longest time. But guys, with that said and done, I'm gonna leave off. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.